Welcome to Facebook for the Blind, your look at the downfall of Western civilization through the best memes we can find each week. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the week that we like to celebrate Facebook for the Blind, a show for the visually and Facebook impaired. I'm your humble host, Eric Sizemore. How are you all doing? Good. Let's get to the news. And I got way too much of it this week. I know you're like, what? No way. But it's true. Tons and tons and tons of freaking stuff happened. A lot of people still talking about the January 6th panel, and I'm really sorry, but there's not enough talk about the big story because there was this PowerPoint that laid out the whole coup, and it got broken. And let's read some headlines from the mainstream media. PowerPoint sent to Mark Meadows is examined by January 6th panel. Oh, that's really nice. What is that called? Passive voice? Is that what you call it when it's a really wussy way to write a powerful headline? Yeah. Maybe the Post did it better. Phil Waldron, backer of the January 6th PowerPoint, says he met with Mark Meadows and briefed lawmakers. Also good. Let's see if the British can do it better. The Guardian says Capitol attack panel obtains PowerPoint that set out plan for Trump to stage coup. Oh, well, that seems a little bit better. Apparently, I got to go to Britain to get my American news. Let's see who else. Did anybody else cover it well? Salon, January 6th PowerPoint reveals many more Republicans were in on Trump's coup plot. Yeah, that's pretty good. Rolling Stone, anti-democracy PowerPoint circulator says he met with Meadows, briefed lawmakers. Okay, kinda. Rolling Stone, Trump's White House emailed about PowerPoint on how to end American democracy. Much better. Not the New York Times, not the Post. I got to rely on Vanity Fair and Rolling Stone. I'm so angry at the mainstream media. You have no idea. Let's get on to some more news, though, because it's super fun. Yeah, hey, number one cause of death for 2021 is COVID. That's right. Number one, beating out heart disease, beating out cancer. And I just like to point out here that there are about 600,000 deaths a year from heart disease, and we're at 800,000 from COVID-19.
Jesus.
And third place is cancer. And I'd like to remind you that that's like 100 different diseases lumped together. Okay?
Yeah.
100 different diseases lumped together to make it into third place. That is how deadly this is. A thing that there are still people saying is a hoax. Makes me freak out. Hey, that guy that fired all his employees on Zoom without notice, he doubled the severance pay for those workers he fired on Zoom because a lot of people are saying that might have been illegal, and he has opted to take a leave of absence. So that's kind of fun. Another follow-up story, of course, we had Bob Dole, who died this week at the age of 100,008. And the media just rewriting Bob Dole's history as just a really vicious right-wing attack dog. He was so mean. No, he wasn't. He was just a conventional politician like all the rest of them. Stop making crap up.
Yeah, but hold on. No. He was a conventional politician, and they're all trash.
Thank you.
Like, that's the right. Yeah, he was evil, but like fucking not like especially evil. He was just... Yeah. Banal, mundane, disgusting, evil politician.
Just a vanilla politician. Okay, I got you. Would like to point out too that the other party that should be talking about this stupid PowerPoint being very, very quiet right now. I do not understand. Do they even know they're in a fight for democracy? Do they even know there's a coup going on? Or are they just like twiddling around thinking about, oh, this would be good for my fundraising? I don't know. Okay. Moving on, here in Illinois, in Edwardsville, which is, for those of you out in California, about 2 hours away from where I am currently sitting, there were numerous deaths, at least 7 people dead in the Amazon collapse there, where workers were on the third shift and had gotten a tornado warning, but were not allowed to leave. And I'm trying to figure out how they even found out because they had a ban on phones for their workers. So how anyone told them that there was a tornado warning, I'm not sure. It must have been carrier pigeons or something. California plans to copy the Texas abortion tactics for gun control. It's like, well, if the Supreme Court's going to go ahead and say you can sue people over abortions, how about if we sue people for firearms manufacture or selling the guns? And I think it's hilarious when stuff
this was pretty heavy metal, dude. Like this was This is like I just have to feel like Newsom was just like smoking a doober with his boys. He's like, I tell you what, boys. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I tell you, boys, if they fucking do this shit, I'm gonna see the gun folks. Like you just see it like
what? Yeah, I know.
Just getting blazed. I'm gonna fucking pissing people off. So what I'm gonna do.
I got an idea. Totally. Yeah. I don't know how Gavin Newsom sounds. I can't do a good imitation of him.
He looks like he sucks.
So I got into some debates online, and I'd like to point up a phenomena that I hope you all see. When I got into library school, I discovered that people's perception of crime was entirely off. And if you watch the media today, you're going to find that out too. The truth of the matter is, here's a nice little chart, that the crime from 1960 to now follows a trend. And if you were to draw a trend line, it would be down, very down, incredibly down. We are currently below the levels we were at in the 1960s, okay? It climbed up and it peaked in 1990. But if you turn on the television or the media, you'll hear something like this. The murder rate is up 34% in New York City relative to 2019. You want to see that? That's this little teeny tiny bump here on the end. But if you present it without context, sure seems like things are bad. So here's the deal. All these guys that are talking about a dumpster on fire, yeah, way fewer dumpsters on fire than in the 1960s, but there weren't 24-hour news shows that were trying to scare you to death about those dumpster fires every single hour. So just something to consider when you hear these assholes on TV. Local news, friend of the show, Kadeem Richardson, out at Magooby's in Baltimore, has made it into the final round. No word whether or not he has moved further in the competition, but Dr. Kadeem Richardson is a badass, and we wish him all of the luck. Look at that Richard Pryor face on the wall behind him, man. Magooby's looks like a quality place. I'm all excited about it. Also, a friend of the show, Maggie Mayfield. Speaking of Mayfield, Kentucky, different Mayfield, a more positive one. Maggie Mayfield, Champaign comic who is now down in Austin, was outside practicing on her guitar before going to perform when the guy asked her, hey, what are you doing? She's like, I'm tuning my guitar to get ready to perform on stage. And he said, all right, man. He said, jam out with your clam out. And she said, I've never been more excited for a rhyme in my entire life.
I wish he was writing a song, like waiting for one more rhyme.
One
and he walks by, jam out with your clam out.
Oh my God.
The lost lyric.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, totally. In fun news here, Kellogg's, of course, has been negotiating with workers. Kellogg says it's going to permanently replace most of the 1,400 workers who went on strike over a new system that cuts newer workers' pay and benefits. Workers reported 16-hour shifts, 80-hour weeks during the pandemic, and they rejected a proposal giving only veteran workers a 3% raise. How fun is that? And by the way, too, I get all my news from David Duell, who's the Rational National. And if you're not watching the Rational National, you're missing out. This one from the Workers' Party of Massachusetts reposts More Perfect Union saying, updates, efforts to replace striking Kellogg's workers have been disastrous, workers tell us. Scabs have wreaked havoc on the factory. Most cereals are not being produced, and a delivery train went off the track yesterday. And the workers also told us that Kellogg's had to call in help from Ohio to put the train back on the tracks because no workers from Michigan would cross the picket line. And then, of course, my favorite part of this whole story, Kellogg's decided to open up their applications online to replace all those 1,400 workers, and millennials and Gen Z guys flooded the jobs postings with fake applications and crashed the system. This is what solidarity looks like. One of the guys actually engineered an automated thing that would pull random data and addresses from the cities and fill out applications automatically. It was submitting one per minute. It was freaking excellent. So
that's awesome.
Pretty awesome there. In other union news, the National Labor Relations Board rejected Starbucks Corporation's bid to quash counting of unionization ballots from its 3 upstate New York restaurants, paving the way for a Thursday vote, which they all voted for it overwhelmingly to form the very first ever Starbucks union in Buffalo, New York. And that is the crack in the dam, people, because I feel like there's going to be quite the domino effect. If you could see how much money they spent on all these different guys to convince these people not to unionize like they did with Amazon down in Mississippi, it is truly amazing that they pulled this off, and I am just ecstatic. So moving on. This is news to me. Ancient human genome has been sequenced from DNA in cave dirt, not from a bone, not from an artifact, from dirt. They pulled it up and discovered people that were living tens of thousands of years ago in this cave from the dirt. And it's really opened a lot of scientific possibilities here because dirt is everywhere. So exciting stuff. Of course, a lot of people don't believe that human beings could have been around for 100,000 years because they would have written that in a book 100,000 years ago, but for people who like science, it's pretty good. This is from Freethink by the way, and if you're not following Freethink, you're missing out. Really interesting stories there. This last one I think is absolutely hysterical. Traces of cocaine found in the UK Parliament, including near Boris Johnson's office, says a report. House of Commons Speaker Lindsay Hoyle contacted the police over reports of cocaine used in the UK Parliament. Police went in there with swabs and found that there were 11 of 12 bathrooms tested positive for cocaine. So, of course, when they called up Boris Johnson and asked what he wanted to do about it, his response was very quick. He flew up to Liverpool and cosplayed as a cop. Look at that. Doesn't he look good? I tell you, man, that Kevlar vest is really slimming, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that outfit there. Just looking like a cop. I mean, that is a great way to deal with cocaine in London, is in the place where you work, is to dress up like a cop and fly to Liverpool. That is the way to do it. Thank you, Boris. Also, when asked directly about the cocaine, he said that there was going to be an Omicron tidal wave, after which he said, Omicron, 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 and unleashed the wave. That has been the news for Facebook for the Blind on December 13th, 2021. I am joined by my beloved co-host, Quiet Michael Labune. Michael, how are you today?
Doing okay.
Good.
You ready to? I wanted to tell you that I got some memes.
Oh,
I was going to show some of them.
Dude, that's a good idea. We should try that.
Let's do it, dude. So, Betty White. This is a tweet from Alexis Rodney. He says, in 35 days, you got this. Big up, Betty White. Prayer hands. And there's a picture that says, Betty White is 99 years old and 3 months away from 100. Please provide her with national security protection and wrap her safely in bubble wrap. We love her. And then there's 3 pictures of Betty White. Here's the thing about this. Seriously, at least once a month, Betty White trends. Mm-hmm. And everybody freaks out because they think she's dead because she's been so fucking old for so fucking long. But every time it's just somebody, she just trends randomly because people just remember that they love her. And I think it's awesome. Mm-hmm. Super wholesome. Lenny Duncan at Lenny A. Duncan said, Dear Evangelical, that's not the Holy Spirit. That's just a G to a C chord and decent lighting. This is dirty, man. Lenny Duncan's the best, though. Oh, my God. So Trent at the Cliff Beater says, sorry, Grandma, but this is about me, 100. And there's a picture of her with her grandmother, but she blurred her grandmother out. And in case you were thinking this was just some sort of like weird glitch on the camera or something, she put in the next comment. She says, my granny, a big stepper, as you can see, at 82. She got blurred because my sister ate me up, and I had to choose between me or her, and I chose me, Shirley. And she has 2 pictures of this old woman standing outside of church. This killed me. All right, milk at milk in his bag. He tweets, wait a damn minute. And then you look at the picture, and it's a picture of the back of someone dressed up in a Grinch costume. And listen, they put the biggest ass on this Grinch. It does not make any sense. Hey, Eric, let Mango in.
Oh.
Cinnamon Bun, who is at not Sophia Coppola, she retweets Dago who I'm not going to read his handle, who just wrote General Grievous jacking off 4 guys at once. What kills me about this is not just how random and stupid it is, but that 23,000 people liked it.
Oh my God. Wow.
All right. Sorry, Don't Claire says it's crazy that with plastic surgery, you can make literally anyone look like Kim Kardashian except for Khloe. This is so dirty.
Wow.
Oh man. Oh, okay. This is my last set. Last 2 memes of this set, and they're just pictures. But this is from the Jimmy Fallon show. This was all over Twitter the other day. So, help me with this guy's name. Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill's the guest.
Oh.
And Jonah is in this first picture. He's raising his hand, and if you watch the video, Jimmy's saying like, "All right, that's it. Thanks for coming by, Jonah Hill." Like it's over. And Jonah goes, he raises his hand, and right here in this moment, you can see Jimmy Fallon still all smiles. Jonah says, "Hey, now I have to say something. I'm not really a political person." And as soon as he says that, watch Jimmy's face. Jimmy Fallon was smiling in the first picture, and all of a sudden he looks absolutely petrified. Boom. Nice.
Which, by the way, I'd like to make a comment on that Max Headroom that we exchanged. If you haven't seen the Max Headroom, the best joke on TV that Americans never got, or something like that, it was quite brilliant. I mean, it exposing the formula of the talk show host and the complete inanity, and just there's no opinions in it at all. I've been watching Stephen Colbert, and he just makes me sad.
Yeah, and he's one of the better ones, right? I mean, Jimmy Fallon, I think, is the worst one. All Jonah Hill said was like, "Hey, he's like, I'm not a political person, but I do think climate change is real, and like, here's something everybody can do." I mean, it was a nice thing that he said. Just Jimmy, just fucking terrified he was going to actually have to stand for something for a second.
Gotta love it. Is that back to me?
It's you.
All right, sweet. Love this one. This is a share from Ji Tang Wang, who says 20 years from now, kids listening to Baby It's Cold Outside are going to find it really, really weird. We're going to have to explain that it has to be understood in the context of its time. You see, it used to get cold outside.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that one quite a bit. This one is just Gru or whatever, the little baby Yoda. Grogu. All right, and he's sipping his cup of coffee. And which is the new Kermit the Frog sipping tea. And the text says, "Me watching businesses complain about a labor shortage. After 40 years of downsizing, right-sizing, restructuring, outsourcing, mergers, jobs sent overseas, on-call scheduling, and employees converted to independent contractors." Mm-hmm. Hey, raise your hand if almost all of those have happened to you. Okay. Hey, raise your hand if size is part of your name, and right size and downsize just pique your attention and have for 30 years. Yeah, I mean, that's right. It irritates me every time. All right, cool. My friend Lee Marcus posts, "All I want for Christmas is a copy of the naughty list." I gotta tell you, I wouldn't mind having a list of the naughty girls in this area. Actually, come to think of it, if you have any names, send them to Facebook for the Blind, courtesy of our webpage. I'll follow up and investigate all of them and report back. In our trademarked wholesome round, I got to point out Amber Ruffin, national treasure. And if you're not watching the Amber Ruffin show, you are seriously missing out. This woman is amazing. Amber Ruffin told me that Tuesday was National Illinois Day. Okay, who knew that? I didn't know that. National Illinois Day. So she said, "Time to break out the champagne."
Oh, but hey.
I know. I know.
That's nice. Little tip of the hat.
I know. My tiny little Mayberry bird got mentioned on national TV by one of my heroes, and it made me all warm and fuzzy inside. And I don't think anybody saw it either. So I'm just going to leave it up here so you can stare at how gorgeous that champagne is. Yay. Okay. All right.
We do love champagne.
My man Jason Brown, who challenges himself to write puns every day, says currently working on a screenplay about a high school janitor who finds and raises an abandoned baby that grows up to be the savior of the world. Check Hulu for Sweep in Heavenly Peace next holiday season. Yeah, I know. Don't encourage him. That's true. He's not here.
No.
My good friend Zach posted with last night's Chinese food delivery, our fortune cookies contained marketing for a cryptocurrency exchange that sells fortune cookie named NFTs. My fortune literally advised me to hodl. Have we really reached peak grift yet? And a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, lots of laughing. Somebody posted this picture of a Dogecoin being dipped in coffee. And I was like, no, seems like we've reached peak grift. But no, actually, 3 days ago, Vice.com reports unvaxxed sperm is trying to become the next anti-vax Bitcoin. And and I learned about this from Candace Owens, who recommended it. And I was just like, Candace, were you ever smart? What the hell? Unvaxxed sperm is trying to become the next Bitcoin.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, 5 more left. Friend of the show, Clay Newman, posts, found my old medical marijuana prescription, and I can't tell you how grateful I am to be cured of, I want to say back pain, or maybe it was insomnia. Either way, I feel great now, and it's all thanks to weed.
Well, he can't be cured. He doesn't need to be cured. He needs to. I'm managing my something so much better.
It's a chronic treatment.
Right.
That comment's great too.
All right, 4 more left. At comedian friend of the show, Adam Burke says, please, for the love of God, sweet suffering sap Christ, do not share this article with comedians. We're insufferable enough as it is. Futurism says, scientists find that class clowns are actually the smartest people in class. I've met a lot of the class clowns, and I'm going to strongly disagree. My favorite comment was Dora Jara Ragoza, who says, humor is a sign of intelligence. And Adam Burke responds, I don't get it. Speaking of dumb stuff, IFL Science, who, if you're not following IFL Science, you're missing out. Yeah. Quotes Fox News host asking why we can't just raise the Titanic. The internet comes to the rescue, and they explain many, many reasons why we can't just raise the Titanic. But the Fox guy said, you just put balloons under it and lift it up. What's the problem? Just do that. That's all you got to do. Of course, I'm amazed that Fox had any news at all to talk about that, because the Fox News Christmas tree caught fire, and they did 3 days of wall-to-wall coverage, leading me to believe that the Fox Christmas tree is their 9/11. I don't even know what to say. At Fox, when the target is a Christmas tree at their workplace, it is sacrilege. When the target is the seat of American democracy, nope, it's just tourist things.
What is it? One of the hosts said, it's about Christmas, it's about Hanukkah, it's about Jesus and expressing yourself.
Yeah, the Hanukkah thing, man. The entire world was just like, are you are you okay? Is Ainsley Aardvark or whatever, is she okay? I don't know. Okay. And final meme for this one. George, friend of the show, George, posted this Pink Panther sitting with his elbows on his knees and his hands all interlaced. And it says, I act like I'm okay, but deep down, I want all my stolen lighters back.
Dude, I don't want mine back. You know how fucking many of those there'd be?
I remember I had some friends who used to come home and they would like dump them out into a bowl because they had a challenge to see who could get the most. And I was like, I hate you two.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I got to make sure I know where to stop. All right. Brent Turhoon in Nashville, December 19th. at Brent Turhoon. This guy is fucking hilarious. If you're not following him, you should.
Oh, yeah.
He's great. Another comic, friend of the show. He says, one of my superpowers is having to pay $50 for a $1.25 toll that I've been meaning to pay for 6 months. I've done it so many times. Jokes are, has this picture of Ben Affleck and J-Lo, and it's 2 panels. In the first one, Ben Affleck is whispering in her ear and she's smiling. And in the next panel, they're facing the same way, and Ben Affleck is smiling and she looks really pissed off. And in the first picture, you see that Ben Affleck says to her, your lips are made of the same skin type and texture as your anus. In the next picture, she's mad. This is Trash Can Paul. And there's a picture of a hiker, like backpacker. He's got a huge hiking backpack on his back, and he's standing at it like a precipice, and he's looking out over a mountain range. And it is a really beautiful picture of the mountains and the sky. And written in the clouds, it says, sometimes my tummy be hurting. And the first comment Trash Can Paul said, but I'm always brave about it. Just makes it seem so fucking serious. Glow fuck yourself, Planned Parenthood. They show a text conversation where the first person says, I faked every orgasm. Oh. And the next person said, I saw every meme you sent me at least a month before you showed it to me. Which is every bit as mean. Oh my God.
Super mean.
At Sadbot Only writes, quote, I'll tell you later, end quote. Tell me now or I'm gonna throw up. And again, 87.8 thousand likes, which made me feel very seen. This is not, if you love me or just even like me at all, don't ever say I'll tell you later or I'll talk to you later. Oh, I can't handle it.
My least favorite
Dinos
phrase
and comics.
We need to talk.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
or can we talk later? That's what it is now.
Oh.
Nobody says we need to talk anymore because it's been in the movies. But now they say, hey, can we talk later? And it's like, no. I'm just gonna forget you exist and cut you out of my life forever now. Like I don't even want to know. I don't even want to have the conversation. Dinos and Comics has 2 dinosaurs. I don't know what color they are. I think one of them's yellow. And the not yellow one says, I failed. And the yellow one says, it doesn't matter as long as you tried your best. And the first one says, oh, I didn't do that either. Corticon. Nope, Corticorn. Corticorn says, don't leave your medicine around me. I'm going to Google that shit and see what the fuck going on. See what the fuck going on. This is so suspicious. The philosopher's shirt. I really appreciate this meme.
Nice.
This is a still from The Simpsons where there's what's this cop's name?
Wiggums, Chief Wiggums.
Yeah, Wiggums. So anyway, there's 2 cops and they're riding like a 2-person bicycle and they're really straining to bike up this hill. And then Chief Wiggums is being pulled in like a little kid cart and he's got his arms out to the sides and he's smiling really big. He's not doing any work. They're just pulling him along. And you see that Chief Wiggums is coaching, self-help, motivational quotes, TED Talks, leadership, and mindfulness. And the two cops who are hauling his ass around and doing all the work are psychology and philosophy. Like, this is a fucking great meme. I'll leave it there. Nice. Ben Sawyer, friend of the show, great comedian out of Nashville. So this was big news. The Nathan Bedford Forrest was this Civil War traitor, and he also was the founder of the Ku Klux Klan. And until recently, until last week actually, there was a bust of Nathan Bedford Forrest, the person who started the Ku Klux Klan, in the Capitol building in Nashville. Brother Jones, at Brother Jones, Justin Jones, dear friend of the show, dear friend of mine. He's been working his ass off for years to get that bus taken out. He got that taken out this week. And also, it made national news that this statue, which is hideous, it's Nathan Bedford Forrest on a horse with a gun, but his eyes are so badly done. It looks so gross. His head is way too big for his body. And some queer activists actually threw pink paint all over him like 5 years ago. So he's been pink for years too. And it finally came down and it's out. It's no longer, this scourge on your commute from Franklin to Nashville. It says, turns out the guy who owned the Forrest statue didn't have enough to cover the $5 million he willed to his dog. So they sold his trailer park to pay his debts, and they're taking down his statue. So I got to admit, this guy went out like a true Confederate. Ben Sawyer talks a lot in his act about how he's actually his ancestors were Confederate soldiers, but they both like deserted in the first battle. So like they like got in the army, and they both split. He was like, "That's my heritage. We run away. We're not on the right side of history, but we're just fucking running away from the whole thing." Trash Jones at JZUX says, "You want me to go to a dinner party? The thing that killed Jesus." And I gotta show this. I don't understand it, but one of the first comments was a picture of the Lord's Supper, but they put like rave lights over the top, and they put Jesus wearing headphones, spinning records, and it really does. It does look like a fucking party now.
It's amazing.
Jesus on the ones and twos.
Jesus on the ones and twos. Well done.
Is that back to me? Nice. Okay.
Back to you.
Very nice. Okay, round two. One of my favorite movies of all time is They Live, and if you haven't seen the Roddy Piper classic from the 1980s, you should. And here we have the They Live alien, except that it is an angel on top of the Christmas tree, and it's holding a little sign, and it says "Consume."
Beautiful.
Great.
Beautiful.
Nice.
So good. I know I want one. I really do. This is going to be a weird round. I'll just say that. So my man David Johnson, who's very big on union news, posts this thing, which is a comparison and contrast of a couple of Costco employees. There were Costco employees making $29.50 an hour, like as greeters, drawing smiley faces on receipts. And one of their fellow workers got mad about that because that's not really work. And it's like, dude, stop letting the bosses turn you against your fellow worker. It's awesome that she doesn't have to work and makes a lot of money, and you're making a lot of money. Just okay, that's not funny. I'll work on. David Weigel. Yeah, I'm sorry. David Weigel posts, and it was reposted by Doug Henwood. And if you're not following Doug Henwood, you missed out. Friend of the show, Doug Henwood. The idea that the January 6th were just hard scrabble working class folks, and this is why the elite was so bothered by them, is pervasive despite being completely fake. And he's got a quote from Kaivan Shroff from The Atlantic with an article saying only 7% of the January 6th insurgents were jobless, and more than half of the group had white-collar jobs or owned their own businesses. There were doctors, architects, a Google field operations specialist, the CEO of a marketing firm, and a State Department official. Quote, the last time America saw middle-class whites involved in violence was the expansion of the second KKK in the 1920s. Again, I cannot emphasize enough. We are in a really pitched battle here, and a lot of the leadership doesn't seem to know it. I'm okay. All right, so this is a.
I gotta say though, hold on, go back. This sounds racist as fuck to me. The
Really?
last time America saw middle class whites involved in violence was the expansion of the second KKK. What the fuck does that mean? Middle class whites are violent all the time.
Maybe in large groups.
Maybe that's what they mean.
Stupid people in large groups. I mean, I think it's
Tell that to like fucking 40% of cops who beat their wives. Like, what does this mean? I was a bartender for 10 years. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Like, this is weird.
I did mean to run all these memes by you ahead of time so I could get all this out. But
well, you didn't.
I did not.
All right, I'm off my soapbox.
All right, this next meme follows the format of a classic painting, then with new lyrics or new words. We have a woman on a loom in a candlelit area from like the Middle Ages. It says, industrial agers are ruining the country, she says. The kid says, okay, loomer.
Stupid.
So bad. So bad. I've noticed the last few weeks too, we've done an orb reference in every single one. Friend of the show, Michael Matthews, posts this Saruman, which is a guy, you know, the classic wizard contemplating the orb. And he says, what you pondering? Just orb stuff. Which I kind of like. This one got sent to me by a couple of different people because my father is a Colonel Sanders impersonator, and it's Run KFC. Which is Run DMC, but Colonel Sanders' face has been posted on all three members of Run DMC.
All three.
It's labeled Run KFC. And what I thought was really funny is people were saying, I can't tell if any of these is your father. And I'm like, I wouldn't make this. like, would I make this for my dad? He wouldn't get this joke. This joke wouldn't. It's Run DMC. Checked out of the media in the early 70s. Okay, so Savvy Socialist, friend of the show, posts the federal student aid reminder that your monthly student loan payments will restart after January 31st, 2022. Use this checklist to get ready. And Sleepy Socialist posts, damn, that's crazy. Still not paying, though. I liked it quite a bit. BuzzFeed followed up on some of the stupidest things that have been posted all year. And this is a post that says, fun fact, if you rearrange the letters of Delta and Omicron, you get media control. And the responder says, you also get erotic almond. What's your point? Truly some really crazy stuff out there. Sarah Beth Rosenberg says, I heard the guy who tried to burn down the Fox News Christmas tree was just a regular tourist doing regular tourist stuff. I like that one a lot. From 9 years ago, we have a picture of a raccoon walking on, and it is a photograph of a raccoon walking on his hind legs and carrying a cat, which I captioned, did you lose a cat? Look at the eyes. Look at the little eyes. When I posted this originally too, the comments that I got were truly sickening, including, can I eat this? Which is, you know, who knows what the raccoon was thinking in this, but love him to pieces. All right, got about 3 more here. Tucker Carlson said one of his children was in the Capitol during the January 6th riot. Didn't see this one being screamed by many Democrats or the mainstream media either. The exact quote is, well, I hated what happened on January 6th. You know, one of my kids was actually in the building when it had happened. I was on the phone in real time. Which kid, you schmuck? Wow. Yeah, actually, his kid works for Jim Banks' office, Republican, Indiana. So that's who he was working for, and that's probably who the kid was. And then Tucker went out and produced, a 3-hour documentary of absolute BS that was anti-COVID and pro-January 6th. And Fox ran it on their little app, so they didn't put it on broadcast TV. But I still think there should be a way to sue them for this garbage. Okay, and getting down to it, this is just silliness on my part, but Omnicom Public Relations Group, I just keep picturing that people are stumbling across the Omnicom Public Relations Group, you know, because people are searching for Omicron, and I don't think Americans can spell. And here's the thing is that, you know, my first substantiation for this, I basically just, you know, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. The people that work at public relations groups really don't like to see their names, you know, come up in the media. And the reason is because over 86% of all the news is written by public relations companies, and those stories have no editing. So you see, PR companies would prefer it if Americans didn't Google PR companies and know where their news comes from. Now, outfits like ProPublica have been writing about it, you know, how the PR industry is filling all the shrinking newsrooms because they fired all the news people. But, you know, if you generate enough corporate PR, you got plenty of ad copy or regular copy that you can just stick right in there. And now public relations people outnumber journalists by 6 to 1. 6 to 1. That's where the battle is going. And anyway, and then I just had people saying, don't you mean Omicron? And I'm like, yeah, they're Omicron. And I was like, yeah, that's the point I was making. Thank you. Let's end on a George one. When your Starbucks cup says happy holidays instead of Io Saturnalia, and we have a Roman dumping out the Saturn cup. Man, that was a weak close. My bad.
Dude,
Back to
Brent
you.
Turhoon, that reminds me so much though. Brent Turhoon, he did this whole thing on like Merry Christmas, not Happy Holidays in Starbucks.
Yeah.
And it's a very, he said, he tells the barista his name is Merry Christmas, so she has to write it. And then at the very end, he pulls the camera right up to his face and he goes, "It's Merry Christmas, not Adam and Steve." He just always plays this like caricature, of a MAGA hat or whatever. It's so funny. It's Merry Christmas, not Adam and Steve. All right, this is my last round before my post with the most. Aborted Dreams has a outline of a person's face and then a talk bubble coming out of their face. And what they're thinking is life is hell and every day is worse than the day that preceded it. And what comes out of their mouth is, I'm thinking about buying an air fryer. Fucking Sober, who I love. They have like a painting. It looks like an oil painting of Bert from Sesame Street. Mm-hmm. And over that, they have a tweet from Cool Shrek, Kewl, Cool Shrek, saying, "Being sober is awkward because I used to be able to say, sorry, I acted crazy. I was on drugs. But now I have to be like, sorry, I acted crazy. I'm crazy." And I feel this tweet deeply. At Mild Sexy with 2 eyes says, post, "No one says anything." And then parents after typing for 5 minutes. "Okay, thumbs up." Which is how my mother closes every email. "Okay, thumbs up" at the computer and then shuts the computer. At Shiv Shivy, Jane at Shiv Shivy says someone said they look like rich twins, and they put a picture of, oh man, I forget this guy's name. Everybody's talking about him on SNL. What is it? It's Miley Cyrus and
Peter Davidson.
I even like this guy.
Yeah, that's
Peter
him.
Davidson. They were like co-hosting, I think, The Tonight Show, and they just do like, they both have this like bleached hair. Miley Cyrus has kind of a like almost a Cruella DeVille thing with like the bleached hair on top and then like black underneath, and they just look like rich assholes. Like, yeah. I actually like both of these people's work, but I was like, they look like the embodiment of evil. I grabbed this one just for you, Eric. It says the need to have many tabs open at once goes back many generations. And they're subtweeting at bookchat_, who has a picture of a tool researchers used to quickly shuffle between different books a long time ago. And it's just like a wheel with different like trays that you can put books on.
Yeah, the mathematician.
The many tabs of 200 years ago.
I learned that the mathematician Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz owned one of those, and I've wanted one ever since.
Oh, that's fucking dope.
Dude,
I want to fill it with laptops that all have multiple tabs open.
Ooh, oh, God, my nipples just got so hard.
At Hasbullah Hive, we don't even need that. At Hasbullah Hive, says 9-year-old me when I changed the HDMI on the TV and my family thought I was a tech genius. And there's just a picture of this little boy with a hoodie on, and everybody's holding like microphones up to him and stuff. It's just cute.
Nice.
Tommy Siegel has the 3 wise men, except for the last one is a monster who's holding a smaller monster. And the first one says gold, and the next one says frankincense, and then the small monster being held says myrrh. So fucking stupid. All right, this is another pair for the end of this last round. And it's VeggieTales, at VeggieTales, checkmark official account. And they write, Christmas begins with Jesus. And then there is, I don't know, what is this? An asparagus for sure, and maybe a broccoli. And they're standing over a pea in a manger that is supposed to be Jesus. And it says, "Oh, come, let us adore him." VeggieTales. Now, I wouldn't share this just by itself, but Liam at Lego Racers writes, "This is genuine sacrilege, not against the Bible, but against the VeggieTales founding charter," and quotes the founding charter that says Vischer's mom, who has a PhD in Christian education, gave him some initial rules about creating VeggieTales. They included 1, you will not portray Jesus as a vegetable. And two, try not to imply that vegetables can have redemptive relationships with God. I just love it. This Liam guy posts like, yo, you disrespected your mother. Like out of nowhere, man.
Awesome.
You gotta call him out like that.
That is
you dishonored your mother.
Dude, that is the best twist on your mama I've heard since 9th grade.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He burnt him, man, with his mama's own words. Jesus.
Nice.
As a P.
You will not portray Jesus as a vegetable. That's a sentence.
It seems like easy to not let her down. You know, it's like it really seems like pretty okay. I won't do that.
It's like Bob.
Like if my mom was like, son,
rule.
just don't ever make Jesus a vegetable. I'd be like,
okay.
I'd probably be like, you stop making him white. No, I won't make him a vegetable.
Touche. Touche. So I got an absolute ton of different memes about the Kellogg strike, and several of them had the cartoon characters that were just fantastic. But my favorite of all was just the Tony the Tiger with the label, "Oh, I'm greedy." pretty good. This is you know what? I can't remember what this is.
No, this is awesome, dude. I can't remember her name either, but the Marie Callender's.
So Marie Callender's makes like chicken pot pies in the frozen section, right? So there's a guy riding a bike with a stick in his hand, then he shoves the stick into his wheel, then he falls down and he's holding his own leg and he says, "Thanks, Marie Callender's." I forget why this is funny.
Dude, so it's weird. I thought I saved a bunch of memes about these, but I must not have. Marie Callender's is this like fucking baking. It's like Betty Crocker, right? They have pies. So this woman, I don't know her name. She posted a picture of a pie and was like, "This ruined our Thanksgiving. Thanks, Marie Callender's." But the pie was charred black. Like
that's right.
She left it in the.
She left it in for like a day.
Yeah, like a whole day. Like it was so burnt.
And they're pre-cooked. So
Thanks, Marie
Callender's. God, man, thanks Obama is the gift that just keeps giving. I gotta tell you, man, it's so fun. All right, got a couple more here before we get to my post with the most. This is a pie graph. We have it divided equally in half, green and purple in the circle, and it says, "Where is the thing?" On the left side, it says, "Carelessly set down, I forget where." And on the other side, it says, "Deliberately put in a special place, I forget where." I felt this one. Felt it so much. This next one is from a friend Chuck, who says, "One thing nobody ever talks about as being an adult is how much time you debate yourself on keeping a cardboard box, because it's like a really, really good box."
Oh my God.
No,
I've done it, man. I have fucking boxes upon boxes in my garage. Yeah,
I'm doing it right now. I'm like, well, how else am I going to move my flat screen TV if I don't have an enormous, bigger than my TV flat cardboard box taking up all my room? Anyway, fun stuff. This next one is a speaker, like a loudspeaker, and he's on stage addressing a whole bunch of other speakers out in the crowd. And he says, "Be proud to be loud. You are worthy to be heard. Now go make some noise." And you notice he's wearing a little headset that says motivational speaker. I'm going to send that one to my mom. This one is three mermaids, and one's on the drums, one's on the guitar, one's on the bass. And it says, the central one is saying, "Every gig now is about luring sailors to their deaths. Remember when it used to be about the music?" I gotta say, that's one of the funniest New Yorker cartoons I've ever seen.
Whoa, you guys hear the rain?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's how hard it's raining right now.
Holy cow. All right, this next one's just for Michael. Kissing Fish Book posts this picture of a man holding a bowl of soup, meeting the devil with smoke coming out of it. It says, "Thanks to a typo in the contract, the professor gained complete mastery of all the knowledge in the heavens and the earth in exchange for his soup."
Yeah.
You never see that. You never see that. You see the devil, you see the contract, you never see the typos. You know, what if? Well, I like it. All right, next one is from a friend of the show, George Cruikshank, posting from Consonant, who says, if I were a drink, I'd be a cherry vanilla Coke. And Consonant says, if you were a drink, what would you be? Then they say, everyone's like bleach or sewage. Please calm down, edgelords. That is truly it, man. These days, you post a harmless question, and your friends are like, "How far can I take it?" Yeah, okay.
The blood of my enemies.
Yeah, the blood of my enemies. Exactly. My enemies' tears. Yeah, my enemies' widow's tears. All right, this next one is a tweet from Brent Spiner, who played Data on Star Trek Next Generation, saying, let me get this straight. I once spent a night in jail for parking tickets at my college, but you can just say no to a congressional subpoena? I mean, that's a lot of people say that. You can just say no? And then they just like, oh, it's like, it reminds me of the old Robin Williams thing about the police in Britain have no guns. So they say, stop, or I shall say, stop again.
Right.
Man, all right, 3 left. Matt Jenkins, friend of the show, Matt Jenkins says, if you're watching Holiday Yule Log burning in a fireplace on Netflix, just know that things really pick up after season 2. I like quite a bit. And by the way, too, there is a fireplace on my TV right now, and there always is for the next several months, because that's just how I roll. This one's from a friend of the show, C Cat, who posts, UPS tracking is like, your package is in X City, USA, on a truck driven by Bob and will be at your door at 2:37 p.m. FedEx, your package is coming. You'll get it when we give it to you. U.S. Postal Service, you ordered something? Yeah, Amazon, we're inside your apartment. Facebook, we know you were just thinking about getting a toaster oven. Here are 15 ads for toaster ovens.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my God, I feel all of these. And last but not least, from the Facebook A Weekly Memecast group page, if you're not following our memes there, you're missing out. You've heard of Elf on a Shelf. Here's a picture of, what's her name? Lauren Boebert, and she's on a cake. I guess it's a bunt. All right, that ends it. I'm getting some head shaking. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, you're getting some fucking head shakes. Her being a woman is not the problem, Eric. Her being a fucking fascist is. All right.
What's her first name? I'm looking for the rhyme.
See? So Kenneth is still working on it. There you go. All right, awesome. Down to
Kent is more pure than me. All right. This is my post with the most. It's from the Philosopher shirt. In case you thought we would be not using the Philosopher shirt, this fucking killed me this week. And it's a 6-panel comic, and it's old timey like knights, that squires kind of. And the first one is a guy looking through a telescope, and he says, "Someone is talking about philosophy." And the next squire is opening the gate, and he says, "Open the gate." And then the first guy says, "It's theology."
I tell you this.
And the guy says, "Close the gate." And then he looks again and he says, "It's Kierkegaard." And he says, "Open the gate a little." Listen, maybe it's because my undergrad work was philosophy and my graduate work was theology, but my Twitter feed and Insta is just like chock full of theologians and philosophers, man. And this is so perfect because philosophers will permit a little Kierkegaard, a little theology if it's coming from Kierkegaard. That's it. All other theologians be damned, but they'll let Kierkegaard in a little bit, mostly because of the shit he talks about Hegel.
This show is known for its deep philosophical cuts. Deep cuts coming at you. All right, our post with the most, also from the FB4tB Weekly Memecast group page. If you're not following it, missing out. This one is from friend of the show, Jackie Kashian, who reposts from Fox News. A graphic says, when you accidentally tell the truth in your holiday graphics, and big broad thing right across there saying reason for the season, but they've added a cross, so it reads treason for the season. 58 people reached, 14 engagements, and we got some ha-has and some funny stuff. And that was my post with the most. And that pretty much officially brings to a close Facebook for the Blind for Monday,
Love you, George.
December 13th, 2021. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And with that, I shall stop this recording. Thanks for listening to an episode of Facebook for the Blind. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.